72-year-old William Butler is behind bars for shooting 34-year-old Michael Boss. At 11:26 a.m. on Friday the 1st of September, authorities responded to Lions Park in Haley, Idaho to conduct a welfare check after receiving a report that someone was screaming for help. When officers arrived, they found a man with a gunshot wound and transported him to hospital for treatment. A resident provided investigators with dashcam footage which captured William's grey Toyota RAV4 leaving the scene just after the shooting. The next day, authorities located William's car at a grocery outlet in Haley and followed him home. Officials completed a search of William's residence and found a pistol with a silencer on it in an upstairs bedroom dresser drawer. In the same drawer was a small leather satchel containing several rounds of ammunition, and William was taken into custody. While questioned by detectives, William confessed to the shooting and said he became annoyed with Michael because every time that he and his wife walked past Michael in the park, he would always be sitting in his car talking on his cell phone. William said he'd been thinking about shooting Michael for weeks. He said he then drove to the park Friday morning and found Michael sitting in his vehicle and asked him if he had seen any moose. Michael looked up for a moment and then back down to his phone when William shot him once in the head above his left eye. The bullet travelled through his head and lodged itself in his right temple. Michael survived the shooting, however he said he lost his vision and will be blind for the rest of his life. Michael said that William's intention was for him to die, adding that anyone who is feeling that kind of way is a signal to seek help. William is charged with attempted murder and is held at the Blaine County Jail with bail yet to be set. A preliminary hearing is scheduled for the 19th of September. A 25-year-old man is behind bars for fatally shooting his 64-year-old mother. At around 2 p.m. on Monday the 4th of September, authorities responded to a home at 29029 Glenwood Street in Inkster, Michigan after receiving a report of a suspicious circumstance. When officers arrived, they entered the premises and found an unresponsive woman in a bedroom with multiple gunshot wounds. She was transported to a local hospital, where she was pronounced dead. Authorities said that Joshua Hill shot his mother during a verbal altercation and fled the scene in a Ford Escape. On the 6th of September, Michigan State Police located Joshua's car and announced that Joshua was likely travelling on foot in metropolitan Detroit while armed and dangerous. On Sunday the 10th of September, Joshua went into a Domino's pizza store at 535 Griswold Street in downtown Detroit and ordered a stuffy cheesy bread when a police officer on patrol recognised the wanted man from media reports and intel pictures. Joshua was arrested without incident and was found to be in possession of a gun. He's charged with first-degree premeditated murder and a firearm count. He's held at the Wayne County Jail with bond set at $1 million. The investigation into the matter continues. 41-year-old Alison Sarah Dougherty is behind bars after leaving a child alone in a running car while she went swimming in the ocean. At around 10:30 a.m. on Monday the 11th of September, authorities were alerted to Alison after she parked a car in Burkelia Pier in Florida, cranked up the radio volume and air conditioning, and jumped into the water, leaving the young boy still in diapers crawling around in the car unattended. Alison then jumped into the water at the pier where multiple people were fishing, while people warned her about the hooks and the possibility of sharks being in the water. Witnesses said that Alison shouted back that she didn't care and wanted to get hooked and would want to meet the sharks. She'd been in the water for about 20 minutes when deputies arrived, and she swam further from the shore when she saw them. A Boca Grande Marine unit brought her back to shore, and she was arrested. Staff at Captain Con's Fish House across the street from the pier said the woman and the boy had been at the restaurant several times in the past week, and that each time she was acting odd. Staff member Jenny Ray said she didn't seem drunk, she didn't seem intoxicated, something was just off. Jenny said they fed the little boy lunch after the woman's arrest, while waiting on a family member to pick him up. Alison's been charged with 1 count of child neglect, leaving a child unattended in a motor vehicle for an excess of 15 minutes. She remains held at the Lee County Jail on a $250 bond. Jail records indicate that she does not live at a fixed address.